Oh, here she is. Fuzzrocious Cat Tail. Custom painted. Rest in peace, my girl princess. This is my favorite distortion pedal. I love this thing. It's not perfect, but it's my favorite. This is a rat clone with the volume filter distortion. Filter works as it does on normal rat. Counterclockwise opens it up. Clockwise rolls off the top end. Has the diode selection switch on the top here, which is silicone, no diodes, and LEDs. This is the high and low clipping. I believe clipping 1 is for lower frequencies, clipping 2 is for higher frequencies. I don't pay that much attention to it. I just do what sounds good. Yeah, we're doing this. Got the Balaguer archetype, drop C, P90 in the bridge, single coil in the neck. Let's mess around with this a little bit. Now, right off the bat, there is the one thing that I dislike about this pedal. Once you get around noon and higher on the drive, it kind of has this kind of squelchy thing that I've noticed a lot of rats do, but it's a little more pronounced on this one, where you can feel it kind of suck the note down on hard hits, and I'm a pretty heavy-handed player, so there's that. I'm also in silicone mode to get us started, you know, classic rat circuit. So back to noon for now. Like I said, the filter works like it does on a standard rat, so all the way up is the least amount of highs. And as you bring it back, all the way open is all the highs. I tend to like it right around 9 o'clock, where it's kind of just rolling off the highest of highs and leaving most of the rest intact. Clipping, you have it at noon, but let's bring it all the way down. This is without any of the high and low clipping. With that, you can kind of do a little more like, I don't know, like the rock and roll thing. But I don't play that. Bring the drive up while these are off. Another thing to note with the Fuzzrocious Cat Tail versus other rat clones is this one tends to not have as much of like that pick attack sound. This is definitely a little bit sludgier, and I think that's a good thing. It works for what I'm doing, especially like the newer stuff that I've been working on. You know, I'm not doing a lot of like the glass bone stuff anymore. But yeah, so let's mess around with these clippings a bit. Let's bring the low up. Well, first, This is clipping down. Let's bring the low up. Halfway. Bring it up. Yeah, you bring it up all the way, you start getting feedback. So we're gonna park it right there. Kind of brash frequencies getting pushed. And again, if you bring it up all the way, you start getting feedback. So we're gonna park it there. But also by bringing this up, you get some of that pick attack back. So I like to keep it relatively high. Still like glass, but I'm still gonna play it. I'm just not writing that stuff anymore. Let's bring them both about 1 o'clock. That's usually where I kind of like to park them. Keep everything neutral. I like to kind of roll this back a little bit. Oh yeah, I didn't even really go over the gain range. I just maxed it out and showed you the squelchy stuff. So low. You know, it's low. I kind of like to keep it around there for a lot of applications. To keep a lot of definition. Yeah, I know, I just said I was going to take these down, but, yeah, screw it. And you can do a lot of cool stuff. Like, I feel like this gain range right here, right between like 11 and noon, is kind of like a sweet spot where it's low enough that you get a lot of that nuance, but it's high enough that you can still kind of tear it up a little bit. not to be a super duper high gain guy anymore. Let's bring this down. The volume does a lot for this pedal, so bring it down low. Kind of like doing it a little bit like that. Volume at 1, the distortion around 10 or 11, filter mostly open, and then I get something like this. It gives me some nice chunk. It gives me a lot of clarity. Very cool. So now we're going to bring the volume down a little bit. We're going to go to the no diodes option. Well, first, we're going to leave everything the same except for volume. So we got my main tone here. That's fine. You'll see there's a little less gain, it's a little more open, maybe a little bit wider frequency range, but it's overall similar, just more open, less compressed, maybe a little less gainy. LED, bring the volume down a little bit. I do actually like pushing volume into the amp with this setting, maybe upping the gain a little bit. That way to get some of the amps breakup mixing with the pedal to kind of get a little bit gainier. let's see. Yeah, maybe do like a 1 o'clock, push the volume a little bit. Forgetting songs that I've known for years. That's awesome. Must be the dementia kicking in. But yeah, like I said, once you get over noon, you start getting some of that squelchy quality. So I'm gonna show that off with no diode silicone again. And then why wouldn't I roll the volume back? Anyway, I'm getting carried away now. But yeah, that's just a little quick run through of the Fuzzrocious Cat Tail. And this is a pedal I am never going to sell. Modify maybe. I might want to get a second gain function added to it. I feel like that would be worth having, because I do like the gain a couple different ways. You know, I usually, like I said, run the gain a little bit lower for kind of like my main sound. So. But then, what if I want to fuzz it out a little bit? Well, then have a second gain, you know, set, what, 2 o'clock? Say I want to do it in LED mode, which I think is a little more dramatic with the squelchy stuff. This is one I'm never selling. This is going to be on my board permanently. Yo, if you're interested, reach out to Ryan at Fuzzrocious. He's an awesome guy, and get yourself one of these guys, or the new Cat King, which is basically a 2-in-1 of these plus a feedback looper. It's super cool. Anyway, later.